Yo, what's up guys? We are back with a new video and I have just been and watched the Fantastic Four first step, guys. This movie was definitely something special. Like, this movie was literally a love letter to Jack Kirby. I won't lie. Like, having it set back in like a futuristic 60s was an amazing idea. Like, I love the idea of that. Like, this movie was just so good. I must admit, I really liked the dynamic between the whole family, like Reed, Sue, Johnny, and Ben. Like, even Herbie as well. And then obviously we have the introduction of Franklin Richards in this movie for the first time, which we haven't seen in any of the previous movies before or adaptations besides the comics. But yeah, this was a fun ride, I must admit, this movie. And even like Silver Surfer in this was really cool as well. Like, I really dig this version. I know people were expecting it not to be Shia LaBeouf, because that is the version of the Silver Surfer, and that is something from the comics as well. But yeah, I really like the performance with Silver Surfer, and even Galactus, man. Whoa. I want to see Galactus come back. I reckon Galactus and Silver Surfer will definitely come back at some point, because the way the movie ended, it kind of hints that they could come back at some point in a future project, but we will have to wait and see. But yeah, overall, guys, the story of this was amazing. To be honest, I really liked the story. The cast, the performances were amazing too. Like, they literally are like a family. The writing was pretty much good. VFX, I was really surprised by VFX in this film. It was actually pretty solid. There's only like one or two things I caught that were like a bit but besides that, the VFX looks like they took their time with this, which I'm really glad about. But yeah, this movie overall is a lot of fun. But yeah, that is my non-spoiler section of this movie. So we're going to get into our spoiler section now. So if you haven't watched the movie yet, come back to the video and then come back, okay? Once you've seen it, then you can listen to this. Or if you just don't care, then feel free to listen. But yeah, final warning, this is final spoiler warning, so let's get into it. So, this movie is entirely in a different universe. It's on a different Earth in a parallel universe. It is Earth 828, I believe. That is revealed in the movie. So yeah, I really like the reason that they've done this, because obviously you have a lot more freedom to do whatever you want in this movie, with it being in its own universe, definitely. So I kind of like that. It's kind of reminding me of like the Batman, to be honest, with how that's in its own universe. But yeah, I really digged it, and I was so happy about that. But yeah, overall, we kick off with like a little backstory at the beginning, where we have this TV host obviously talking to the world on live TV, going through like the Fantastic Four's origin briefly, which we have seen multiple times, but it's just like a brief little thing. They quickly get over it, and we see different interactions they've had with different villains, like Mole Man, which I really like that they brought Mole Man back later in the movie to help out, because that was really fun. I just love the idea of Mole Man. He's just a really funny villain in the comics, like a silly villain. But yeah, really dig that. We did get Giganto, I think it is, or Giganto, who's like another, like the first villain that the Fantastic Four ever fight in comics, I believe. But yeah, that was a really fun callback, I must admit. And then we've also got a reference to Red Ghost and his Super Apes. We saw the Super Ape being defeated by Mr. Fantastic, but we did learn before the movie released that they had to cut Red Ghost, because I think it was played by John Malkovich, I heard online, and they did cut him, which is a bit of a shame. But we did get a little reference to him in the second post-credit scene as well. So, yeah, we did get something with Red Ghost. But yeah. So yeah, we see this brief like backstory, pretty much. And then we just get a scene where we find out that Mr. Fantastic, Reed Richards, and Sue Storm are having a child. That Sue is pregnant, and this is something really amazing. And we know what this means, that we're getting baby Franklin Richards. And we do see Franklin Richards like be born in this movie, which is cool. But yeah, it was a bit of a twist how he was born. But yeah, we see Johnny and Ben as well in this movie too. And then obviously later on in the movie we do get the arrival of Silver Surfer, who warns Earth, who basically marks Earth for destruction to be devoured by Galactus. And then the Fantastic Four do go up into space to go try and negotiate with the Galactus, sorry. And it does not go well, because Galactus basically, spoiler alert, wants Franklin Richards to take his place, because he can sense that the power cosmic runs through Franklin, basically. Which is like, whoa. And if you know what Franklin Richards is like in the comics, then you know he's this almighty being in the comics. Like, he is a very powerful character. But basically, Galactus speeds up Sue's pregnancy, which is crazy to think about. So she's forced to give birth in space, like in the rocket ship, basically. And they have to retreat back to Earth. They manage to slow down Silver Surfer and the Galactus. But yeah, obviously they do come to Earth eventually. There's funny gags with Johnny and the Silver Surfer, where he kind of finds Silver Surfer attractive, basically, even though she's an alien. And then she does obviously switch sides later on in the movie when Johnny finds out and learns her language and finds out Shia LaBeouf's backstory, where she has a child, where she basically saved her world by becoming Galactus's herald, basically. But yeah, she does help defeat Galactus in the end. And we do get this epic final battle with Galactus in New York as well. And then Mole Man helps out evacuate this New York and that to his kingdom, his nation, as we learn in the movie. But yeah, they obviously fight Galactus, save the day, protect Franklin, and Silver Surfer and Galactus are basically sent to another part of the universe, a million light ways. But yeah, that is pretty much the main movie. We get this funny gag at the end where they kind of just like, well, before we talk about the funny gag, we did think Sue Storm basically died, because she basically did die, and it does seem like that Franklin finally used his powers to revive Sue, which was really cool. But yeah. That's pretty much how the movie ends, with this funny gag at the end where they're just being like a family and that. Where they're trying to get the baby seat in the fantastic car. But yeah, and then they fly off to go stop this new crime. But yeah, and then obviously we have 2 post-credit scenes. The second post-credit scene is just like a funny gag sort of one, where it's like a cartoon we see, and Herbie turns off the TV basically. It's just like a brief with like the Red Ghost and other villains fighting the Fantastic Four. But yeah, the first post-credit scene is the main important one, I would say, if you want to stay for. Now, this post-credit scene is 4 years later, after they saved their Earth, basically the Fantastic Four, from Galactus. So 4 years later, this post-credit scene is taking place, and we see Sue and Franklin, who's obviously 4 years older now, and then I think she's just reading Franklin like a story out of this book basically, and she goes to get like another book to read to him. But when she gets the book and comes back into the room, like in my theatre, the music like changed basically, like the tone of the music like was all dark and that. And then we saw Sue getting ready. She like activated her powers. But yeah, and Franklin is looking at someone, and someone is like kneeling and looking at Franklin, and he's taken his mask off. We see this figure in a green hood and with this like metal iron mask, steel mask, and it's none other than Victor Von Doom himself. They don't show the face of who's under the mask or the hood, but he's got his mask off and he's holding it, and he's shown his true face to Franklin, and Franklin is just looking at him. And we see Sue, who's about to be ready, potentially gonna fight Doctor Doom. Now, earlier in the movie, we did learn that all the countries like round the world have like given up their like nuclear weapons and that, and joined like allies basically because of the Fantastic Four's efforts over the years, except for one country. And in like the United Nations building, it seemed, in this universe, which they've now renamed the Future Foundation, which is another comic book reference, which we'll get back to. We do see one of the countries with like an empty seat, and it said Latveria, and it's empty. So all the world leaders have joined forces together except for one country, and that is Latveria, which is the country that is ruled by Doctor Doom himself, which is crazy because there's 2 times we see this, and earlier in the movie I spotted this Latveria reference, and in my theatre people went crazy when they saw Latveria, and I was like, oh my god, are we gonna see Doctor Doom at the end of the film or in the end credit? And we do see him. We don't see his face obviously, but we do see him at the end, which is absolutely crazy, and my theatre went absolutely crazy, which I haven't experienced that for a long time with the Marvel movies recently, I must admit. Like, not since like Spider-Man No Way Home. So it was nice to have that experience again, which was really good. But yeah, Victor Von Doom, man, with Franklin Richards. Now, I do wonder if this is going to lead into some big plot in Avengers Doomsday, that Doctor Doom is somehow going to use Franklin and the power cosmic somehow in Doomsday and Secret Wars. But we'll have to wait and see, to be honest. But yeah, that's my thoughts on the movie, guys, and the post-credit scenes. Besides that, I just want to talk about like the characters, like standout characters. The whole cast was standouts. Like Pedro Pascal. At first, when I saw his casting as Mr. Fantastic, Reed Richards, I was a bit skeptical at first. But yeah, he was definitely Mr. Fantastic in this film. Like, I love the scene where he was like, I don't know. Like, you never see that from Mr. Fantastic, but the way he delivered it was absolutely perfect, to be honest. And I can't wait to see more of him next year, obviously in Doomsday, and then in Secret Wars potentially. But yeah, he was definitely really good in the performance. Then you got Sue Storm, played by Vanessa Kirby. Now, this is my favourite adaptation of The Invisible Woman out of all the Fantastic Four films we've had over the years. This is definitely my favourite because I felt like she's been underused quite a bit before, and I'm really glad she got her time to shine in this film. I'm really happy with that. So yeah, she was absolutely standout, especially the speech that she gives about family in front of like all the people outside the Baxter building. That scene was incredible. I really liked that one. And then we've got Ben Grimm, the Thing, played by Eben Moss, who's obviously in The Bear, which is an amazing show. He was amazing as the Thing. I really liked him in this film. Like, when you get that Clobber in Time reference, like the joke throughout the whole film, it is quite funny, to be honest, when they eventually do let him say the reference, because he's so, like, I don't want to say it, but he does give it and does say it in the end, which is really fun. But yeah, I really like that. And Joseph Quinn as Human Torch Johnny Storm. He was another casting I was a bit skeptical about as well. But yeah, I really like this version of Johnny Storm. He wasn't like what we've got before with Chris Evans or Michael B. Jordan. He was still like a hothead in this film and still like a sort of ladies' man like player, but he wasn't as like aggressive like in the other films, I would say, because he was actually trying to help, which I really liked, to be honest. But yeah, he was so good, and his attempt to sacrifice himself at the end and then Silver Surfer stops him was so good. I really liked that. But yeah, the actual team itself, I really liked Herbie. Man, Herbie was a standout. I loved how he was practical in this film. I love practical effects so much in this industry. Like, it's so good when you can do things practically, and I really appreciate that. And even like they made a practical suit for Galactus as well, which I learned recently. Now, that is crazy. It's obviously so the actors can obviously see what it'll be like, but yeah, it's so fun. I really liked it. But yeah, Silver Surfer was another standout. I really liked the performance of Silver Surfer. And then you got Mole Man as well, who's pretty funny too. The whole cast in this was so good. But yeah, guys, that is pretty much my thoughts on this movie, to be honest. But yeah, overall, guys, this film was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. and I can't wait to see where we see the Fantastic Four go next. Obviously we're seeing them in Avengers Doomsday next year and potentially Secret Wars, but after post Secret Wars I wonder where they'll take the characters with the Fantastic Four. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they'll be like interacting with the Avengers, and obviously we see that end credit in the new Avengers / Thunderbolts, where we see the Fantastic Four ship arrive in the main MCU Earth. But yeah, we'll have to see where this is all going. But yeah, guys, I want to know what you guys think of Fantastic Four First Steps. Did you like it? Did you enjoy it? Did you hate it? Is this the best Fantastic Four film now out of all the others, do you reckon? Let me know down below. And if you enjoyed this video, leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.